Saved changes. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Double check that I have this stuff saved properly.
Where are we at?
All right. Did you see the link I sent you? Told you to look at in admin.
I just now saw it. Yeah. What about it?
That's Epstein in his cell.
That actually. Oh, really?
Trying to hang himself.
Where the hell did that come from?
The DOJ. They snuck it in there. Nick Sorter posted about it and shared the link.
Very interesting indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you already downloaded that, right?
I did, absolutely.
How are they going to just sneak that in there? I'm assuming we're live already.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I have no idea.
While we're waiting, I guess let me know what first. I'm going to play you the song I've been trying to create, and I can't quite get the beat right. I want to get the beat right.
Okay.
But I've just about got the lyrics where I want them. I don't think I think I need to change a couple more of the lines, but whatever. Let me feed it back. Hey, don't talk because you'll repeat. You'll like echo, echo, echo. Wow, that was loud.
Dashing through the air, our hellfires will rain. Oh, the traffickers we go, laughing all the way. Bells on choppers ring, making boats sinking. What fun it is to blow them up and send them to the sea. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a Black Hawk gunship spray. Jingle bells, blow those boats away. Venice waiting, drug loves turning into ocean spray. A speedboat full of coke, cruising through the night, but our radar locked on tight, with missiles burning bright. The captain thinks he's slick, thinks he'll slip on through, but when the rockets hit the deck, it's fireworks for you. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a Black Hawk gunship spray. Jingle bells, blow those boats away. Venice wailing, drug loads turning into ocean spray. They loaded up with yayo, packed from bow to stern, but we're watching from the sky, and it's their turn to burn. One missile, then another, the hull begins to crack. Powder clouds and flames arise, no coming back from there. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Merry Christmas to the Coast Guard, we're winning every day. Jingle bells, blow those boats away. Venice wailing, Tremendous explosions. Absolutely beautiful fireworks over the water. Nobody blows up truck boats like we do!
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. It's just, well, I was trying to get it done in Trump's voice because that would have been so much funnier. But all these AI things suck with Trump's voice.
Yeah.
Where I can't figure out how to do it.
I'm not good with that kind of stuff.
But see it says Merry Christmas to the Coast Guard, where it's technically, I think it's the Navy, right? I don't think they're getting close enough for the Coast Guard, are they?
I mean, the Coast Guard definitely does the interdiction stuff.
Oh, well, I'll leave that in there. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure about the one missile than another.
I think it's good.
Yeah. I've got a video that I'm going to do with it too. Well, I have to edit it, but I think it's going to turn out quite nice.
Good. I'm glad to see you experimenting with that kind of stuff.
I'm basically going to line it up with the actual footage that was unclassified.
Mm.
Isn't that funny?
I dig it. I love it. It's going to be great.
Then I have another idea. I haven't started working on it yet. We'll talk about that offline so nobody steals my idea.
People do love to steal ideas. Trump's late. It's pretty normal, though.
Yeah,
he had a
unexpected
intelligence briefing first, so that may be running late. I posted the video of Epstein and I tagged you in it. Why would they just like sneakily post that? And it's not easy to find either.
Very good question. I just turned on my X stream too, by the way.
Okay.
So you know.
Yup. I just ran with the settings that were already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting. Casey said that Trump is always late. It was a miracle he did his address the nation only a couple minutes late. Yeah, I think this one's likely
the stream name.
I thought I did.
No, I mean it was already updated, but I put extra. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think this one is running behind simply because he had an intelligence briefing beforehand, and he had that probably ran late. But it's, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think this is about?
Well, being with Sec-War Hegseth and Secretary of the Navy, I would assume it's something about Venezuela. Very possibly could just be another, declassified blowing up of boats or something that I can add into my video later.
But he said major announcement.
Is that what it said? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's how it was sent out by the government. Major announcement.
That sounds kind of like it's war,
Casey says rumors have it's a shipbuilding initiative. But I don't know, like a major announcement requires a special address, 3 days before Christmas. I don't know. All last night says he thinks it's Venezuela. I don't know if he's got insider information, but
Yeah.
I
Oh, by the
doubt
way,
it.
the Bannon expose is starting to pick up steam again. We've gotten another roughly 7,000 views in the past 2 days on it.
Yeah, I replied to Roger Stone with it last night.
I've been replying to people with it too, and then other people have just been replying with it because they're like, "Bro, this was reported on a month ago."
Yep.
Ain't
One of
know
these
what I
days,
look
people will
like in
listen to
here.
us. Casey says he hopes it's not escalation with Venezuela. I mean, it might be.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be preparing for boots on the ground. I also hope not. I'm fine with just blowing up their drug boats and seizing their oil tankers. But if it's a shipbuilding initiative, oop. Here we go.
Guess I should be watching and actually hear it.
Yeah, and it's just the stream and no space. I'm not sending audio.
It's the first renderings of what we're doing. So I want to wish everybody a big hello and Merry Christmas and welcome to Mar-a-Lago.
I have it up somewhere.
Exciting announcement of the new Golden Fleet. We're calling it the Golden Fleet.
So it is the shipbuilding initiative.
Maybe, as you know,
Yeah.
we're desperately in need of ships. Some of them have gotten old and tired and obsolete, and we're going to go the exact opposite direction. We're delighted to be joined by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Navy John Phelan.
So, Ultra P down in chat. Yeah, President cannot declare war without Congress. But what makes you think that you would know if Congress was voting on us to go to war?
What a good job we're doing, which is true.
You know,
as Commander-in-Chief,
that would be
it's
kind
my
of a
great honor to
classified
announce
thing
that I
that
have
they wouldn't tell the
approved
general
a plan
public.
for the Navy to begin the construction
But
of
yeah.
two brand new, very large, the largest we've ever built.
I really have no fucking
Battleships.
clue.
You know, you used to build the Iowa, the Missouri,
Is it
the
coming to my-
Wisconsin, the Alabama, many others.
Yeah,
We
it's
had
just coming to my
big
fucking phone.
battleships. These are bigger,
I was like, I
but
don't
they will
have
have
it up.
100 times the. They'll be 100 times the force, the power, and
I had to fiddle with the sound a little
there's
bit
never been
because
anything.
otherwise
like these
Sippy was
ships.
going to
These
come
have
through
been
really,
under
really loud.
Design consideration for a long
Ah!
time.
Shut up, Sippy.
And it started with me in my first term, because I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. So if you look at the Iowa, the Missouri, Wisconsin, Alabama, and others, but they were similar in size. Some a little bit bigger than the others, but if you take the
You're in
biggest ones,
Iowa, Missouri,
it's
Wisconsin,
100
Alabama.
times more powerful. They're longer by a little bit, but and they're bigger. They're bigger ships, but they hold much more. They use the word lethality.
You got hit with a content warning, by
Battleships
the
are
way.
the largest,
No, I
sturdiest,
put
and
it on
most
there.
heavily armed vessel built specifically for
Oh yeah, okay.
naval
It does say the
combat.
author flagged it.
Well, America has built many new warships over the years. They've tended to
I
be
thought his
smaller, much
I
smaller.
thought the camera in his cell wasn't working.
and, not conducive to.
Well,
where we
That
are,
needs to be a
where
huge
we're
fucking
going,
deal. Everybody
peace
needs to go to jail for
restraint.
that shit.
But including, we've been building
big, massive
aircraft
cover-up.
carriers. We're going to be upping that also. We're going to be going to a superior aircraft. We have the Ford class. We're going to be upping that to
that video should have been
different
released in
class.
2019.
aircraft carrier.
Where was it?
And,
though? That's the thing.
We haven't built
I
a
can't find
battleship
it.
since 1994. These cutting-edge
'Cause I
vessels will
downloaded
be
it all.
some of the most
Right?
lethal
Well,
surface
They
warfare
just
ships.
snuck it in.
They will be actually the most ever built other than our submarines. We have submarines which will have
Oh, you think they're adding
many
stuff
ways
to the shit
even
they already
more-
dropped?
lethality, and we have many of them under construction. Each one of these will be the largest battleship in the history of our country, the largest battleship in the history of the world ever built. And again, it's 100 times more powerful than the previous Iowa class, it's called.
It's essentially
The big
hidden
ones
in
that
a
you'd
data
see
set
on a
8
show.
that's not
Victory at
released
Sea, I
based
don't know
on
if anyone's seen
the
Victory at
URL.
Sea, but it was a classic.
What?
They'll help maintain American military supremacy, revive the American shipbuilding industry, and inspire fear in America's enemies all over
As you notice in the
world.
URL,
We
it
want
says
respect.
208.
We're going to have it. We already have it. We're more respected now than we ever were.
208. I'm not looking right now.
A year and a half ago, they laughed at us. Now they respect us again at levels that they've never respected us.
As in the URL, if you
We
click on an
envision that
individual
these two
item from dataset
Ships,
7,
we're talking about 10, but we're going to start with
it
2,
says
and we're going to quickly morph
207.
it to 10.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we think
Well,
it's
it's
going to
not
be
20.
anywhere
The
from 20 to
percent 20
25.
is a space. That's
We're
the
starting with the first two
encoded value for a
immediately, and we're
space
gonna
character.
then be
But
very
what I'm
quickly,
saying is that that percent
involved with,
208,
we're gonna do
dataset
another
7
8,
is
and then we're going
percent
to
207.
ultimately and pretty quickly have a total of about 20 to 25. We'll make
So
that
I have no
determination.
idea how Sorter found it.
We envision that these ships will be
Um,
the first of a
probably
whole new
crawled the
class of
DOJ
battleships
website.
to be produced in the years
yeah,
to
because
come.
you can't even go to
From Theodore
dataset 8.
Roosevelt,
It
the Great
gives
White
you
Fleet.
access denied.
Remember that? The Great White Fleet, to the legendary USS Missouri.
That shows me
whose
that they're getting
massive
ready to drop
guns
more
helped
stuff, though.
Win World War II. America's battleships have always
Now I
been
kinda wanna crawl the-
unmistakable symbols of national power. We
Justice.gov.
stopped making
You should.
them for whatever reason. I don't know. And I want to congratulate
Shit.
John Thalen, who is your secretary of the Navy. He came to me the first day we met. He talked about battleships, and I said, "You're absolutely on the right track." He said, "Why are we doing other things? We have missiles, which are much more expensive." By the way, these battleships have tremendous numbers of missiles, but they also have guns. And in many ways, guns can do the trick just as well as missiles at a tiny fraction of the cost. Once completed, these new 30 to 40,000 ton plus vessels will be the flagships of the American naval fleet, and there has never been anything built like them. And I just want to, be very clear that we're building them here. We're working with others, but we're building them here. We have great Navy yards. We'll be negotiating with some of the companies that are running those yards, taking over the yards. We used to build a ship a day during World War II. Now we don't do ships very much anymore. We do military ships, we do submarines. By the way, we're 15 to 20 years advanced in our submarines over anybody else. That was one of the things that I did in my first term. We make the best submarines by far in the world. We're at least
Do we feel like
15
this
years
was worth
advanced ahead of
calling a major
anybody
announcement?
else in submarine development. Most powerful,
No.
that's right, the most powerful weapon
I do
anywhere in
not.
the world, undetectable. So the battleships
I
are
am
going to be armed
disappointed
just
from the hype.
in terms of
I am
guns
too.
and missiles at the highest level. They'll also have hypersonic weapons, many hypersonic weapons, state-of-the-art electric rail guns, and even the high-powered lasers that you've been starting to read about. We have lasers where you aim the laser at a target, it just wipes it out. We're going to have, they'll be the most sophisticated lasers in the world, and the most sophisticated laser in the world will be on the battleships that we're building. They'll also carry the nuclear arms, sea-launched cruise missiles currently under development, which will be instituted pretty quickly, but they're under development, and they've proven to be extremely lethal. The U.S. Navy will lead the design of these ships along with me, because I'm a very aesthetic person, alongside our partners
he's gonna make sure
in
they're
American
pretty.
industry, and we're going to have Pete Hegseth and Marco and a lot of very talented people involved, but a lot of it's already been done. We've been doing this for months. The construction will create thousands of American jobs. We're going to have the jobs.
Creation of jobs is
created.
always good.
Already we have factories being built unrelated to this, although AI will be a big factor when it comes to these ships. They'll be very AI controlled. Today's
What?
announcement is yet another step in our
Oh my
mission to
God,
make
no.
the United States Navy stronger than ever before. Again,
The,
Did
we
you say
ship,
they're
the
fucking
ships
battleships?
themselves,
The power
or the
of these
creation of them.
massive ships that we had years ago. It's pretty amazing.
Oh my God.
And next week, I'm going to meet with the defense prime contractors. I'm going to meet with them here, Florida.
They're
And we're going to be
try to
talking
freaking
about
shoot a missile on a
production
freaking
schedules 'cause
submarine,
they're
and they're
too
gonna
slow.
hit a cruise ship.
We have many countries, allies, that are wanting to buy. We make the greatest equipment in the world by far. Nobody's even
I'm
close,
sorry, but
they don't
AI
produce them
controlled
fast
ships
enough.
is
So we're going to be
crazy
meeting
talk.
with them to talk about the production schedules. We're going to have strong production schedules. And the only
one of
way
their
they're going to be
phones
able
just
to do that
ringing?
is to build new plants. Even with the F-35,
it
we have
wasn't
many
mine. I
people
don't
want
have
the
that stupid-ass
F-35
ringtone.
fighter jet. And it takes too long to deliver them to allies or to ourselves. It takes too long. The only way they're going to be
it was
able to
Rubio.
deliver them is if they build new plants. They don't want to build new plants because that's expensive. So we're going to be discussing production schedules. We're going to be discussing CapEx spending. We'll be discussing the pay to executives where they're making $45 and $50 million a year and not being able to build quickly. They're going to make that kind of money. They have to build quickly. Again, we make the best equipment in the world, but they don't make them fast enough. And we're going to be also discussing dividends. We want the dividends to go into the creation of production facilities. So we'll be talking about all
I'm stuck on
CapEx,
this
dividends,
AI
and
controlled
the pay.
battleships.
we're also going
not
to
gonna be able to let that
talking
go.
about buybacks. They spend so much money on buybacks. They want to buy back their stock. I don't want them to buy back their stock. I want them to put the money in plant and equipment so they can build these planes fast, rapidly, like immediately. I mean, I have sold more planes than any president by far, times probably 20. So every time I go someplace, I sell 100 planes. That includes commercial planes, Boeings, et cetera, but it also includes fighter jets. And I'm always having to say 5 years, 6 years, 7
Well,
years.
this thing's
Helicopters,
fucking-
Apache helicopters, many years. India
Very-
bought them. They want to get them. They don't want to wait a long
I
time.
know, like,
So we don't want to have executives making $50 million a year, issuing big dividends to everybody, and also doing buybacks. And then they say, well, we don't have the money to build a plant. They got to build plants. Plants to make F-35s, plants to make helicopters, plants to make the F-47 new jet. And that's it. And that's what I'm going to be talking to them about. They're going to start spending money on building airplanes and ships and the things that we need, not in 10 years
I'm all
and 15
for
years. We
expanding
need
our
them
fleet
now.
quickly,
And we're
long
strong
as we
about
do
it.
it, you know,
Last
safely
week,
and accurately.
the Navy announced
but
a
holy
Yeah.
shit.
brand new class of frigate, and they're going to be working with the South Korean company, Hanwha, a good company, recently
You're a
agreed to
frigate.
invest $5 billion in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. We're opening up the Philadelphia Shipyard, once a great yard. Now it was a long time ago decommissioned, but now it's reopening. Working with the Navy and working with private companies. The record-setting defense bill I signed last week authorized $26 billion to build new ships, including destroyers and various others. We already have a lot of submarines, as you know, under construction. We're building a lot of
I
submarines.
definitely
tell you,
wouldn't
to
have
be
called
exact,
this
we have
major.
right now 15
No.
submarines under construction
This
or
could have
ready
been
to
covered
start.
in the damn press briefing.
And we have, again, the greatest submarine in the world with
You know?
more
Could have
technology.
it's one of
like they
those
talk about
meetings that could have
ships.
been an email.
Well, I would say submarines are
Or a text message.
a bigger deal than ships. We're at least 15 years ahead of any other competitor. China, Russia, nobody can come close.
I agree, Casey.
We're also
Developing and
building
advancing
right now
technology,
3
fabulous.
large aircraft
AI-controlled
carriers
ships.
in addition
Nah,
to
not ready for that.
the ones we have.
Mm-mm.
And we have, actually, interestingly, we have a lot of submarines. How many submarines do we have now altogether, approximately? Huh? What? Over 30. We have over 30. But these are the super duper subs, and there's nothing like
Super
them.
duper
So we're going to
subs.
be doing from 12 to 15 brand new submarines. We have a couple of other things going on. We'll be building other elements of Navy. We'll be fixing up headquarters. We'll be fixing up places for our great sailors to live. And we're going to be working very hard with companies, but we're also going to be penalizing companies that aren't doing a good job. For instance, when they built the Ford, Gerald Ford, the cost overruns were ridiculous. That was done in Norfolk, Virginia. We're going to be talking about that with that company. The cost overruns were out of control. In World War II, the United States
That is
built
one
upwards
thing
of 4
that
ships
Trump is really good
a day.
at,
Can you
is
believe
keeping
it? 4
costs
ships a
down.
day, on average. And it's now, there weren't all big warships, but there were ships, freighters, tankers. And it's a
He
tragedy
knows
that
how to
we
get the
allowed
biggest
this
bang for the buck.
incredible capability just go astray. We don't do that much anymore. We do build our warships, but that's about it. But that's a lot. We're going to restore America as a major shipbuilding power. We're going to ensure the USA is the most powerful fleet
I guess
anywhere
we'll
in the
stay
world,
live during this,
and
but
long into the future, with battleships
kinda-
helping lead the way.
I'm
and the
sure there's
submarines.
gonna be
And again,
press
nobody
Q&A.
competes with us on submarines. So
Interested to
I just
hear
want
what
to thank
press has
everybody,
to
and
ask.
I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words, followed by the Secretary, but if you would, Secretary of the Navy. But Pete's doing a fantastic job. By the way, we have drugs are down 96.2% coming into the United States.
That's huge.
92.6 by sea. And soon we'll be starting the same program on land. The land is much easier. But every one of those boats that we knocked out saved 25,000 lives. So we saved 25,000 lives every time we knock out one of those boats with the drugs pouring in. And you just have to see it. I mean, people say, oh, gee, do you think it was really drugs? Well, just take a look. Bags all over the place. That's not fishing equipment. There's no fishing rods on those boats. They move fast. When you see a boat with 4 engines or 5 engines on, going 40, 50 miles an hour, well, they get hit. We save 25,000 lives every single time we knock out a boat. And it's over
not miles an hour.
96% stopped by sea. We're trying to figure out who the other 4% are, frankly. And we're going to have the same success, but even quicker, because it's much easier on land. If they want to come by land, they're going to end up having a big problem. They're going to get blown to pieces, because we don't want our people poisoned. 300,000 people died, probably last year 300,000. A lot of people say it was 200. Somebody said last night, it was only 175,000 people. That's like 3 stadiums, big football stadiums filled up with
Only
people
175,000? That's
But I think the real
175,000 too
number
many.
is 300,000. We're not going to have that anymore. So we're doing a great job, and we enjoy doing it. Our border is secure. Our country is strong. Trillions of dollars is coming into our country from other countries and companies. They're building factories and plants, including auto plants, all over the United States of America. Without tariffs, they wouldn't be doing anything, although they were very happy with the November 5th election. But it's only because they want to avoid paying tariffs that they're all coming in. And again, the biggest number was $3 trillion in history. That was China many years ago. Now it's $18 trillion, and that's just in 10 months. We think we could hit $20 trillion. That's investment in the United States, including plant and equipment. So thank you very much, and I'll ask Pete to say a few words, and then John. And if you have any questions, we'll take them. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, you're exactly right. There are no fishing poles, no fishermen, and no fishing boats. Just drug dealers and narco-terrorists. And with every strike, we're saving American lives. No other president was willing to do real deterrence. That's exactly what's happening. It's an honor to be here, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, Secretary Rubio, to talk about what peace through strength really looks like. You can talk about it, or you can invest in it, and you can build it. And that's exactly what President Trump is doing. At the Department of War, we're restoring the warrior ethos. In fact, the President mentioned the NDAA. We put into law merit-based. We put into law getting rid of DEI and political correctness. That's now part of how our military operates, and you've seen it in record recruiting in the spirit of the Department of War. We're rebuilding the military. President Trump did it once. He's doing again with historic investments today in shipbuilding, and we're reestablishing deterrence, whether that's at the border, whether it's through Golden Dome, what happened with Midnight Hammer and what Iran found out, those drug boats, and of course the Houthis opening up the shipping lanes. American strength is back on the world stage. And the announcement of the Golden Fleet, anchored by new battleships, the biggest and most lethal ever, accomplishes all 3 of those things and marks a generational commitment to American sea power. Across the entire department, We are developing new operational concepts, deploying cutting-edge technologies, and making major investments, including in our Navy. This is happening in all domains, including space, as the President has talked about before anyone else. So it's the highest of domains and the lowest of domains under sea, and especially today in sea power, that always has to be decisive, has been in the history of America, and will continue to be under the leadership of President Trump. We will make sure that anything that flows from our country and with our allies flows freely and uncontested. New and better ships will provide that deterrent today and for generations to come. This new class, these new investments, will be the types of things that for decades, for centuries, the American people will look back and thank President Trump for having the vision and the willingness to invest right now in capabilities we need today, tomorrow, and long into the future. So, Mr. President, thank you for this investment, and I'll hand it over now to the Navy Secretary.
Mr. President, Secretary Hegseth, Secretary Rubio, thank you for being here on a very consequential day. From my very first conversation with President Trump about serving as a Secretary of the Navy, he's talked about the great Iowa-class battleship and why America doesn't build ships anymore with that kind of offensive firepower that takes the fight to the enemy. During my time in the job, I've talked extensively with our combatant commanders, like Admiral Paparo and Admiral Cooper, and our CNO, Admiral Cottle. And what I've learned is that not only is the President's idea a good one, it's something that Navy desperately needs and now has a formal requirement for. The future Trump-class battleship, the USS Defiant, will be the largest, deadliest, and most versatile and best-looking warship anywhere on the world's oceans. I want to thank the President for his vision to make this game-changing capability for the United States Navy. The Iowa was designed to go on the attack with the biggest guns, and that's exactly what will define the Trump-class battleships. Offensive firepower from the biggest guns of our era. This ship isn't just to swat the arrows. It is going to reach out and kill the archers. And for the first time in generations, we'll have a new leg in America's nuclear deterrence, because the Trump-class battleship will carry the nuclear-armed, sea-launched cruise missile. Striking dominance isn't all that the Trump-class battleship brings to the fight at sea. It has the size and capacity to serve as a flagship for our fleet commanders so that they can command and control naval forces far out to sea. As shown in the series, and the President mentioned it, Victory at Sea, Admirals Bull Halsey and Raymond Spruance commanded the war in the Pacific from their battleship flagships during World War II.
You know what
Now
they've done
this new
since?
battleship will command everything from warships
They've made it
to
access
drones
denied.
and everything
You
in
can't
between.
even go to that link anymore.
We're going to make battle groups great again.
Well,
And this is just one piece of the President's Golden
Yep.
Fleet.
Mhm.
that
Glad
we're
I
going to
downloaded
build
it.
With the investments he talked
Yep.
about.
but look at the link I just sent you.
The right
Admin.
frigate. The one our
Somebody
warfighters have told us they need. More amphibious
somebody
power for our Marines.
to go look for that
New
specifically because you
capabilities like
couldn't.
medium
There
landing
was no
ship.
Google dorking. The only way
part of
you'd have
the
been able to
Navy's
do
high-low
that is
mix,
if you
we're
were
moving
crawling
out
the website at
aggressively
the exact
on
time
unmanned
that shit
vessels
went.
With funding from the
Yeah.
President's
Drop
wonderful
Site
bill
News
to
is
bring
claiming that
options
they're
to
the ones that
fight
found it.
and pull new, non-traditional defense partners
Oh, really?
into the American shipbuilding ecosystem.
But if you look at the
And
link
we're
I
making
just
a
put in
generational
admin,
investment in support
that's from
ships.
November 21st.
Logistics wins wars. And
With
that
that
kind
video.
of shipbuilding is the spark that will ignite the industrial base and help power the commercial shipbuilding
Really?
that the President has called for. Under your leadership, Mr. President, we will have more tonnage and firepower under construction than ever before in our history. Building the President's Golden Fleet means jobs across the United States now. There'll be work for shipyards everywhere.
So-
This
From
is
Philadelphia
interesting.
to San Diego, from Maine to Mississippi, from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast.
This is very interesting. Where do you get it
And for
from?
manufacturers that will build
I don't know,
components
but
for this
apparently it was
battleship
on
in
YouTube.
every state.
Back in
The
2020.
President has been clear. We must bring back our American maritime industrial might. And he has told me many times that as Secretary of the Navy, it is my job to equip our sailors to win the fight at sea with the finest ships in our history. To conclude, the USS Defiant battleship will inspire awe and reverence for the American flag whenever it pulls into
Why
a
is it
foreign
only a
port.
short clip though?
It will be a source of pride for every American when it brings home our brave sailors who will sail defiant, raise their fists, and say, "We
Oh, you
are peace
downloaded
through
it,
strength."
but you didn't.
And our
Send it in
adversaries will
the,
know
thing.
when the Trump-class USS Defiant appears on the horizon, American victory at sea is inevitable. Thank you, Mr. President. Now when a conflict arises, you are going to ask not one, but two questions. Where are the carriers and where are the battleships? Thank you.
I just want to mention that John Phelan is one of the most successful businessmen in the
You see how there's
country, in
no
our
way in
country.
hell
Been a tremendous success, and he wanted to do this.
he was able to
and,
hang himself.
For nothing.
So
Yeah.
why is it just a short
Probably
clip?
the
Where's
largest
the
salary
other?
cut in history. But he wanted to do it. He wants to rebuild our Navy, and you needed that kind of a brain to do it properly. So I just wanted to give you a little information on him, which is probably enough. But one of the most successful men in the country, and he's that because he understands it, and he understands finance in addition to what we're talking about. Somebody who's doing a fantastic job is Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. And Marco, maybe say a few words.
the most
and then
recent, like,
we'll
if you look at the
answer some
thread.
questions. Thank you.
I look at like the replies and stuff.
And I don't have much to add. This is a phenomenal presentation. Thank you, Mr.
Why?
President. This is American industrial power returning. This is the ability, once again, to rebuild, to have industry in the United States. This is generational in the change, not just in terms of applying American war power, increasing our ability to protect the seas. The U.S. Navy is the single biggest source of peace in the world of all of our forces because it gives us a global footprint. But it rebuilds American industrial capacity, the ability to
So,
make things again in our country.
apparently the
Critical
video
to what
was
the president's
released by the
agenda has been
DOJ.
all about, and this is a tangible
It's a
reminder
collection of
and,
files
and
collected
the
by
country's
investigators and a
grateful
fake
for
video
it.
originated on
Generations of Americans
4chan.
will be grateful.
Supposedly they collected lots of files as part of their investigation.
By the way, I think I'd just like to point out that
But
these ships
it
are made of steel.
Does
as
show that
opposed
like
to
it's
aluminum.
basically impossible that he would have been
It's
able
a
to
big
kill
difference,
himself on
as
that
you
bed.
know. Battleships, the great battleships, had 6 and 7 inch steel hulls.
Because
and
that,
these are going to be
I mean, that
likewise, made out of
would have kept sliding
very powerful
down
steel.
the
Our
pole
steel industry is coming back very strongly, by the way.
as he tried to pull on
It's,
it.
coming
He would have
back
had to
at
like
record numbers.
basically pull himself
And
halfway
we're gonna
across the
be
fucking
using
room.
them for the steel, but as opposed to an aluminum side, which, in all fairness, is not the same. So,
Well,
John, we're going with all steel.
quite.
I understand.
It wouldn't have
That's gonna
slid
be
down the pole
something
because it would
that,
have got caught on
people
the.
are surprised, more expensive.
But I'm saying that it would have been like way low.
not
It wouldn't have
even
been
close.
high up
yeah, it
enough
would
to
have been
really.
super fucking
the
low.
importance and the strength. Yeah, please.
What's your timetable for these first two ships, and do you see them as
I
a
w-
counter
yeah,
to
we'll
China?
we're going to start almost immediately, and we'll probably talking about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you may want to correct your post before they got you.
Just a
Yeah.
counter to everybody. It's not China. We get along great with China. I have a great relationship with President Xi, and not China.
I'm just going to
It's,
reply to it.
everybody. You don't know who comes along, but we just wanted peace through strength. Hopefully, we never have to use them, but there will never be anything built like these. Think of it. Those battleships are incredible. These have 100 times the power. Think of that. I mean, and they were big and they were powerful. You know, I thought about taking some that are in dry dock and changing them, and then when I said that, you know, if we did, it would be about, we could increase, if we doubled them, they'd be at like just a tiny fraction of what one of these was. This is the new technology, which is incredible. So we decided pretty early on not to do that. Yeah, please.
So basically, the
William Rosas
DOJ
with
had.
Most Peaceful Media. You just referenced the lower amount of illegal drugs that are coming by sea, and you just said that you're going to start that same program on land soon. Are you just referring to Venezuela, or are you referring
No.
that to
No,
other
just
countries
anywhere.
in Latin
Anywhere
America?
drugs are pouring
We're just
in.
going to start
Anywhere, not just
blowing up
Venezuela.
drug runners that are coming in foot.
Venezuela.
Ma'am?
Oil. What are we going to do with the oil that we have?
Going to do with what?
The oil that has been seized. The United States seized 1.9 million barrels of oil on December 10th.
We're going to keep it. We're keeping it.
Where's it? Are we going to sell it or
We're
put it in
gonna
the
keep it.
strategic
Maybe
oil
we'll
reserve?
sell it. Maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll use it in the strategic reserves. We're keeping it. We're keeping
We're just
the
gonna
ships
keep it.
also.
I'm-
Yeah,
I'm-
please.
Loving it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If it's sanctioned.
About Venezuela, sir, have you spoken to American oil companies that have had their assets seized about what a post-Maduro
Yes.
Venezuela would mean for them, what coming
I have
back and restarting
all
operations?
the big ones, yeah. I have. Yeah, please.
Why do you feel like this initiative was
I
neglected
really
for
want to
so many
know
years? And does this
how
come
I
amidst
just-
the rising tensions between the U.S.
Did she
and
really say
Venezuela?
initiative
Venezuela?
instead of initiative?
Well, you had a different kind of a president before me. They didn't mind being ripped off. They didn't mind being robbed. They didn't mind drugs pouring into our country. They didn't mind the jails of Venezuela and Trinidad being emptied into the U.S., where they take over Colorado and other places. I do mind. So you had a different kind of a president. I hope people are enjoying it because we've never been respected more than we are now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their
By
full...
what?
And were you surprised by the number of photos of Bill Clinton in the Epstein files? And can you commit to their full release by the end of the year? Some of the victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, you know, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me too. Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly. But they, you know, he was around. He was all over Palm Beach and other places. The head of Harvard was his best friend, Larry Summers, and Bill Clinton was a friend of his. But everybody was. I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, and as a person that was in Mar-a-Lago, I threw him out. Mar-a-Lago, this is Mar-a-Lago. It's the hottest place I think it's the hottest place in the world, but it's the hottest place in Florida. And everybody would come here, he'd come here. We actually threw him out. But no, I don't like the pictures of Bill Clinton being shown. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy, he can handle it, but you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago, and they're, you know, highly respected bankers and lawyers and others, and they'll end up, because of guys like Massey, who's a real lowlife, whose polls are down to about 9%, by the way, in the great state of Kentucky. If you look at Kentucky, Kentucky is such a great place, but I don't know, they've got a couple of people in there that are very strange in terms of leadership, but Massey's a loser, and he likes it, and that he works with the Democrats. He's just being used by the Democrats, because what this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has. Like, for instance, today we're building the biggest ships in the world, most powerful ships in the world, and they're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished. I believe they gave over 100,000 pages of documents, and there is tremendous backlash. It's an interesting question, because a lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin a reputation.
People were angry because of the redactions.
So a lot of people are very angry that this continues. A lot of Republicans are angry because of the fact that it's just used to deflect against a tremendous success. Look, we have $18 trillion coming into our country. We have, I believe, we're going to have the most successful economy in history.
Massive tracking
Now
or
prices
trafficking
are coming way down.
of
Gasoline is less
young
than $2
girls.
in some states. $1.99.
You know,
$1.97,
is
$1.95
problem.
a gallon.
It's
$1.95.
it does not take away from the wins that we've got, because
Nobody ever thought they'd see that.
that it's a completely
They don't
separate
want to talk
issue.
About that. They want to talk about
Yep.
Epstein, and the problem is a lot of Democrats.
And
have
they
been
say
caught
that
up
we're
in
in a
that,
cult.
Like Larry Summers. Larry Summers was the head of Harvard. He's now been forced to resign from every board he's on, and he was thrown off the Harvard board. Now he was at Epstein's Island a lot. I wasn't. I never went there, by the way. But fortunately, it's nice. But I never went there. But a lot of people did go there. But instead
That's
of
not
talking
what the
about the
problem is,
battleships, or
though.
instead of talking about
You know?
Yeah.
most favored nations, drugs, we're bringing down drug prices like at a level that has never even been thought of. By
Yeah, when you're talking
thousands.
about up to
Think of it,
1,200
by
victims,
1,000%,
you can't just sweep
by
that under the rug.
1,200, 1,400, 1,400% in some cases. A drug that sells for $10 in London is costing $130 in New York. We're bringing it down to $20, and they're going to go up to 20. So they're going from 10 to 20, which is a doubling. It's a doubling. That's a lot. but it's a doubling. But we're going down to 20. So we're going down, if you can do your own math, but it's 2,000%, 3,000%. It's pretty amazing. And you know, the New York Times had a story about it, a small story, way in the back of the paper. It's the single biggest thing to happen with respect to drugs probably in 50 years. It's never been anything like this. In my first term, I was able to get drug prices down 0.25%. It's the first time in 28 years that they went down. 0.25%. I was so proud of myself. Now we're doing them 2,000%, 1,500%, 1,200%. That pill that sold for $130 will now be selling, as an example, for $20 because the rest of the world took advantage of us. Without tariffs, I could have never done it. I called up the heads of the countries. As an example, France, I spoke to a very good man, President Macron of France, and I said, Emmanuel, you have to raise your drug prices. He said, no, 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 we will not do that. I said, you have to. He said, no, I don't want to do that. Look, you're asking me if it go to $10 to $20, you're going to come way down to 20. We don't want to do that. Now, in all fairness, no other president even tried. But if they did try, there was actually a fake story in stupid USA Today. I didn't even think they'd make it anymore. I haven't. But I saw a story where Biden was trying to do this. Biden never tried to do it. Biden didn't know he was alive. He never tried to do it. But they're taking it from $10 to 20. So he would say, and the other leader said the same thing. No, no, we won't do it. I said, no, no, you're going to do it 100%. They said, nope, we're not doing it. We're not going to double our price. Because, again, if you go from $10 to $20, they're doubling their price. We're coming down, though, from $130 to $20 because we're going to get the lowest drug prices in the world. Whatever the lowest price is called favored nations. We're going to have the lowest price. So I said, no, no, you're going to. No, no, I will not do this. Politically, it's unacceptable. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to do it 100%. Please accept it now. Be nice. You're going to do it 100%. No, 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 I will not. I said, yes, you are. He said, why do you keep telling me I am when I'm not? Because if you don't do it, I'm going to put a 25% tariff on everything France sells into the United States of America. And that's approximately 20 times more than I'm asking for with respect to drug prices. He said, I see. I agree to do it. Every other country said the exact same thing. They all said, nope, I will not do it. I said, all right, on Monday morning, you'll have the 25% tariff, everything you sell. In the case of France, it was wine, champagne, cars, everything they sell. It's 25 to 30 times the price of what.
So we've got a nice zoom in on Trump. Do you notice
every single country,
how ragged his
and
ear
that was
is?
a big problem. The drug companies were difficult, but fine.
The ear where he was shot, you see how ragged it is?
Control over the drug companies. We had no control over these foreign nations. So every single country has agreed to do this. So we will take that pill price down as an example. Talking about not just pills, we're talking about everything. We'll take it down from $130.
What the hell happened? It's
down
like
to $20 a pill.
so my song
And the rest
isn't
of the
the
world
same
will
song
take it
anymore.
from $10 a pill up to $20. It's the biggest thing ever to happen, and it's covered, barely covered in the New York Times because it's a fake newspaper. Yeah.
Mr. President, on shipbuilding, how is the administration plan to ensure that there's sufficient workforce availability as you're producing these ships?
Could you speak up?
How does the administration plan to ensure there is sufficient workforce availability as you're producing these ships?
We're going to have it. We're going to have tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it.
Me?
And because we're going to town, we're building a lot between the AI and the auto
I think
plants.
I have a fucking wasp
So
in
we're gonna
my
need
office.
robots. We're going to have robots, but that's going to help us. We're going to have tremendous workforce, and in order to operate you're always going to need people. You know, you can have robots, but you're going to have to get somebody to start those robots, and you're going to have to improve the robots. But we're going to have robotic factories plus manpower. So we're going to have enough. We're going to need the help of robots and other forms of, I guess you could say, employment. We're going to be employing a lot of artificial things, but the beauty is we're going to have more jobs than we've ever had. Just so you know, a number came out the other day. We have more jobs right now in the United States. More people are working right now in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. Pretty amazing. So we'll have the help of, mechanical help, if you want to call it that, but we'll have tremendous employment. They'll be paid a lot of money. They'll do better than they ever did. Okay? Yeah.
Some may have been expecting a different kind of announcement today, hearing your Secretary of War and Secretary of State here. You mentioned strikes on land in Venezuela more than 15 times, even now, just in your recent remarks.
Oh, fuck. Now I don't know where.
Why should Maduro take your threats seriously? And
He can do whatever he wants.
what's your end
Maduro?
game? What's your end
No, he
game?
could do.
here?
There's no answer. He could do whatever he wants. I mean, we have a massive armada formed, the biggest we've ever had, and by far the biggest we've ever had in South America. He could do whatever he wants.
I hope that it's
Whatever he
still in
wants
my
to do. If he
office and
wants to
closed
do
the door.
something, if he plays tough,
But I
it'll be
have
the
no
last
idea where
time
it
he's
is.
ever able to play tough. But
Careful, I
they
do not want
sent
to sound
their
bite.
prisoners into us. They sent people from
You hear
jails,
that?
and prisons. They sent
If he
people
plays
from
tough,
mental
it'll be the last time he
institutions
ever
and
plays
insane
tough.
asylums into the United States. Just walked right
That's
in
fucking
because
funny.
Biden had an open border policy.
I'm nervous about this
What
wasp,
the Biden
Sippy.
administration did to our country can never be forgotten. They took in millions and millions, 25 million people over the course of 4 years. Many of those people were murderers and drug dealers, prisoners, rough prisoners.
I wanna go back to my history, bruh.
11,888 murders. More than half of them killed more than one person. They came into our country. Now, I spoke to Christine Noem today. I spoke to Tom Homan today. He came down to see me. And we had a great meeting. They've done an amazing job. We're getting them out.
I'm
We're
not
getting them out
allergic or
very
anything.
fast. But this should have never happened. But
Well, shit.
Venezuela was one of the.
I lost my song.
Venezuela took advantage of
You lost
the
your
open
song.
borders that Biden created more than any other country.
I'm upset.
Tren de Aragua, we had gangs all over. Look, I mean, you have a very weak.
I lost a
governor in
wasp,
Colorado.
so.
Look what happened in Colorado, where they would occupy apartment houses, and he didn't want to do anything about it because he was scared. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead, please.
So in response to the United States taking sanctioned oil from Venezuela, Colombian President Gustavo Petro criticized the United States by saying, well, the Southwest is stolen land and that it should be returned to Latin America. I just wanted to know what your response to that
Well,
is.
he has to watch because, he's got drug factories. They make cocaine in Colombia. And he's no friend of the United States. He's very bad guy. And he's got to watch his ass because he makes cocaine and they send it into the United States of America from
Hey, well,
Colombia.
I'm just gonna sit
We
here
love the Colombian
armed with my
people.
can of Raid.
I love the Colombian people. They're great people.
Hang on.
energetic,
I can't
smart,
hear
great.
anything.
But their new
Sitting here
leader
editing this
is
fucking
a
song, or
troublemaker.
trying to.
And he better watch it. You better close up those
Because
cocaine
it fucked it
factories.
up.
They have
I like
at
that
least
song,
3 major
how it
cocaine
was.
factories. We know where
I might
they
just
are.
go pull the
You better
audio
close
off the
them up
fucking
fast, yeah.
stream.
By the way, it's made and
And
sold
Casey,
into the
my
United
Raid
States,
is
comes through Mexico.
indoor, outdoor.
Thank you, sir. You've named Governor Landry to be new special envoy.
It's safe to use
Greenland.
inside.
How do you, what do you see that role entailing, and is it still your intention that
Well, he
Greenland
called
become
me.
part
I
of
just
the
spray
US?
outdoor everywhere.
Louisiana, the Louisiana Purchase. He said, I'm
'Cause
governor
I
of
don't give a
Louisiana.
fuck.
And he said, I would love, I didn't call him, he called me. He's very
Keeping my eyes
proactive.
peeled, looking for it.
He's a great guy. He's a deal guy. He's a deal maker type guy. And we need it for national protection. We need Greenland for national protection. They have a very small population.
I mean,
And I don't know, they say Denmark.
that other style
Denmark
was
has
really
spent
close, and
no
for
money,
some
no
reason it's
military
gone.
protection.
Like, gone.
They say that Denmark was there 300 years ago or something. with a
Casey, I
boat
also don't let
with
wasps
boats
inside my
too, I'm
house.
sure.
I have literally no idea how it
So,
came. Literally, my pest control company was
What's
here
it all about?
today
But he,
for our quarterly spraying.
he felt very strongly, we need it for we need Greenland for national security. Not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you
The
take
only
a
way
look
that it
at
could get in
Greenland,
here
you
would
look
be
up and down
coming
the coast,
in,
you have Russian and
like when
Chinese
we're letting the
ships
dog
all
in and
over
out,
the
but
place.
I'm all the way
We need it for
upstairs,
national security. We
on
have
the
to
opposite
have
side of
it.
the house from the
And he
back
wanted
door.
to lead the charge. So we're making him, Marco, today, a special envoy to Greenland. Greenland's a big deal. Yeah.
On Ukraine, can you give an update on the talks that took place this past weekend, and could a trilateral,
it.
a discussion of sort, be the next step?
It's
for
probably somewhere
Ukraine,
else in
the
my
US,
house
and
now.
Russia?
So the
I left the
talks
door
in
open.
Ukraine, Russia are going along.
Huh?
We lost, as you know,
I left the
27,000 soldiers.
I left the door
last
open, so it's probably
mostly
somewhere else in my house now.
people, Some people
I'll just
in
listen for a
Kiev,
child
so-
scream. It's fine.
but mostly soldiers. And the talks are going along. And I say that, there's tremendous hatred between these two leaders, between President Putin, President Zelensky, tremendous hatred. And I hope we can get it done. We are talking.
No idea.
It's going okay. But, I've solved 8 wars. And Thailand is starting to shape up. They started with Cambodia. They started up again. But I think, Marco, we have that in pretty good shape to have that stopped. So we stopped 8 wars. And I thought this would be in the middle of the pack, but maybe easy, but in the middle of the pack. But there's a lot of hatred between those two people. And when there's hatred, there's, But we stopped one war 38 years, one war 35 years, one war was going on for 32 years. And we stopped, think of it, we stopped a potential nuclear war between Pakistan and India. And the head of Pakistan, highly respected, general, he's a field marshal. And also the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 10 million lives, maybe more, by getting that war. 8 planes were shot down. That war was starting to rage. And he actually said the other day that President Trump saved 10 million lives, maybe more. So we solved all these wars. The only one I haven't solved yet
I'm so upset that the
is
song's gone.
Russia, Ukraine.
What were you using to do it?
Russia and Ukraine, and have you spoken
Suno.
with Putin or Zelensky or plan to
I'll
push
do
the
whatever
deal?
I have to do. I mean, I'd like to see it stop. Look, we don't lose any money on that war.
So what I had to do
Biden
is I
gets
ended up having to
$350
do
billion,
the
and who
premium
knows what happened to it.
Suno so I could actually
We now
download it
sell
and use it
missiles, planes, all
without
of the
getting a
best
copyright
military
straight.
equipment. We sell it to
Yeah.
NATO.
So I did that, and then
We
when I
got
came
NATO to go
back,
from 2%
it like
GDP to
reprocessed
5%.
my
Nobody
fucking
believed that
songs
to this day.
with the
Yeah,
new
nobody's gonna write
engine, and
that.
it completely changed the song that I was trying to fucking
And they
download.
take that money and they pay it to the United States for weapons. So we sell weapons to NATO.
I'm very upset about
We
that.
sell full price. We sell weapons to NATO, and NATO
Now I'm
takes
having
those
to
weapons and probably
generate.
distributes them, but gives a lot of them to Ukraine. So we don't lose any money like we
I
did
can only
with
do
Biden.
500
He's
songs a
spending money
month.
like a fool. He was a fool. What he did to our country is so horrible. But he gave it $350 billion between cash, gave a lot of cash, $350 between cash and weapons. You remember at the beginning of that whole thing, I gave them javelins. Javelins are the anti-tank busters. And President Obama at the time gave them sheets. I gave them javelins. They gave them sheets. But the bottom line, it's time for, I think they're
Yeah,
all
but,
tired
I mean,
of that
500
war.
songs a month is
Everyone's tired of that war.
a
Gotta
lot.
stop. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just wish I had my other song
in
back.
sanctioned oil tanker yesterday. Are you able to share what became of that tanker? Was the U.S. able to seize
No,
it?
it's moving along, and we'll end up getting it. Yeah, we're actually pursuing it. Can you imagine? Because it came from the wrong location. It came out of Venezuela, and it was sanctioned. Yeah, please.
Ultimate goal in Venezuela to force Maduro from power.
Well, I think it
Yeah, none of
probably
them
would.
sound
I
as
can't
good as
tell
that first,
That's up
that
to
one
him
I
what he
had,
wants to do.
and I don't know
I
how
think
to
it'd be
fucking get it
smart for
back.
him to do that. But again, we're going to find out. Look, Venezuela
I don't either.
did terrible things to the United States. They sent hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people into our open border.
Because I know when I
They sent
upgraded, I
their
didn't lose
criminals,
anything
they
that I've
sent
made
their
before.
prisoners, they sent their drug
So
dealers.
unless you created a completely different
They
account.
sent their mentally insane and
No,
incompetent people
but I didn't.
into our country more than any other country.
I didn't.
Others did too. The
It
Congo
redid
did.
them with the version
Others did
5
too, and we
engine,
just let 'em come
right?
right in.
Is what it
Because we-
did,
We're
Yeah.
run by a stupid president.
and
But you don't have a stupid president anymore.
I can't
Mr.
go
President, have you
back
set up
because
the
it was
meeting
on the
with the healthcare
4.5.
insurers just yet? And what are you hoping
Yeah.
to
And
get?
it
How are you
completely
hoping
changed
to
the
I
song.
lower
think we're
costs?
going to meet with healthcare, the healthcare insurers, the insurance companies. So what I'm asking for in healthcare is very simple. Obamacare is a disaster. I call it the Unaffordable Care Act. Unaffordable as opposed to, it's unaffordable. They're going to have a tremendous increase in premiums, which is Obamacare, which is them, the Democrats' fault. They'll try and blame Republicans. It has nothing to do with us. It's the Democrats' fault. What I want to do is we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year that go to insurance companies. I want that money to go to the people and let the people buy their own health care. And everybody loves it. It's become our issue. Now, before I do that, I'll meet with the insurance companies, just as I met with the drug companies. As you know, we're meeting with 4 other drug companies, Johnson & Johnson. But they've all agreed. We're meeting with them this week. It's coming up. It'll be a similar meeting. They've all agreed. But nobody would have thought the drug companies were going to
I'm
do
looking
what they
forward to
did,
seeing
where they're
drug
giving
prices
away
come down,
free drugs.
'cause they're way too
They've been
expensive.
so great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we have most favored nations. Nobody thought that was possible. I don't think any other president ever tried to get it because they never thought they could. But with respect to the insurance companies, I want to meet, there's essentially 14 of them, 10 big, but there's a total of 14 pretty much, pretty big. And I want to meet with them and I want to say, I want you to cut your rates way down, way down. And maybe if they do that, we'll be able to not cut them out. We'll be able to continue to deal with them, which is probably a little easier process. I think the best process is pay the money directly to the people, let them buy their own health care. But I'm going to meet with them the first week back. I do it now, but they're trying to come up with a schedule. They want to meet badly, they've told me, but they want to come up with a schedule. I said, make it a good schedule. Your rates have to come way down. We're also going to meet with other insurance companies because under Biden, the
So
insurance rates
all I
have
had to
gone
do
through
was
the
refresh,
roof.
and I got my song
Auto
back.
insurance.
Oh, good.
I'm
home
so happy.
insurance. I mean, insurance companies are making far more than they're entitled to make. So we're going to be doing that. But just
Yes, they
in
are.
the meantime, we'll be meeting with the insurance companies in the first week, the first few days back in Washington, because they're trying to come up with a proposal that will satisfy me. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. I hope you're going to enjoy the battleships. They're going to be beautiful. Thank you. And have a great Christmas if I don't speak to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yep. But I want to share.
We've been live for like how long? We've been live? I don't even know.
An hour. But I want to talk about Epstein for a minute, just while we're live. Okay.
I'm waiting.
Give me a second. I'm gonna get it up on the screen here. Sure it's the right window. There it is. All right. So this is a letter put out, or I guess a back sheet put out by Department of Justice about the Epstein files release. So the Trump administration is continuing unprecedented support for Epstein transparency after the Biden administration declined to make any files public. First Trump administration was prosecuting Epstein for heinous crimes. At the time of his death, the Obama administration declined to investigate Epstein. Why is this material being released now? Prior to President Trump's enactment of the Epstein Transparency Act, various judges had declined the Trump Department of Justice request to unseal Epstein-related material. The enactment of the new law gave the judges a legal predicate they found sufficient for granting the Trump administration's standing request before the court to unseal the files. How much more material can we expect to be released? The Department of Justice has hundreds of thousands of pages of material to release, including material that must comply with court orders. These court orders can slow the Department of Justice's ability to review and redact material, but will not prevent the release of this material. The Department of Justice has more than 200 lawyers working around the clock reviewing each individual file for release. This is an arduous process, as each document and photograph must be individually reviewed by DOJ and the Southern District of New York for potential redactions to protect victims or potential victims.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it going through two different groups, essentially, the DOJ and the Southern District of New York for redactions. That still does not explain why we have...
District.
It still does not explain why we have some pictures redacted and some not, when it's the same picture.
Or, yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
So, what is being redacted? Yeah. The Department of Justice is committed to transparency and redacting only what is legally required. The Department is required by law to redact identifying information about the victims, minors, or potential victims, as well as privileged material. No redactions have been or will be made to protect famous individuals or politically exposed persons.
Bullshit.
Why have some photos been released and then removed? As material is released, the Department of Justice has received incoming from individuals alleging to be victims and their lawyers requesting that certain information be removed. Out of an abundance of caution, the material is temporarily removed for review and will be released again with appropriate redactions if legally required.
Bullshit.
So my understanding is that, I mean, the only thing that is required to be redacted is victims' minors, right? And then anything that's
when it comes
still
down to
considered
it.
classified.
Yeah.
But when things are being released to the public, we don't know what is and isn't classified. On these redactions, they should be saying classified, and that's why it's redacted if it's classified. Right?
Yep. Yeah, give the reason for the redaction, like a stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christos, the major announcement was not a super awesome major announcement. It was, we are getting a new fleet of battleships that are 100 times stronger than current battleships. The Golden Fleet.
The Trump class.
Yeah. And I think there's, 12 to 15 is what they said. And they're going to have some AI control in them. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, so this statement is wonky. I'm going to play that video for you guys. All right. Pause. All right. So this is the supposed Epstein video. It looks like it actually came out in 2020. It was posted on YouTube, made by someone on 4chan. But I did download this directly from the DOJ. The link has now been secured. You can no longer access it. So we don't really have any context on why this was released or why it was included. But it's a 12-second clip of Epstein essentially attempting to hang himself. So it does look fake. I mean, if you look, this is supposed to be all those strips of like sheets or whatever that he had ripped up. Let me see if I can find. I had sent red. So here we go. So this picture here. So it's essentially like a recreation of this picture from his jail cell. But the thing is, like, the video looks like it could be a legitimate recreation of like what could have happened for him to hang himself. But this is the pole where he supposedly had it tied on, at least based on that video. And I mean, it would have slid down to here. I mean, he essentially would have been laying on the floor to have enough tension to hang himself, right? Because it would have stopped. I realize that you guys can't see my mouse. Yeah, essentially the ladder here that goes up to the top bunk. The right side of the ladder is where the video is showing that he was hanging himself from. But the rung along the bottom would have stopped the makeshift noose or whatever from continuing to go down, but he would essentially have to just be like completely laying or leaning forward, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm still not convinced he killed himself. Weird. But yeah, so there's this. Came across a purported video of Epstein's suicide leaked by an anonymous source. I attached it, but if your email strips attachments, you can also download it from Google Drive here. Right, so it was email that was sent. And then here you go. It's posted on YouTube October 1st, 2020. So, and this person's like, so both of these are fake? Well, no, I mean, this is an actual picture from inside the cell, but you can 3D render, right? Based on, publicly available pictures like this. So, yeah, just some food for thought. Definitely wondering what is going on with the video in general.
Yeah, it appears to be a recreation. Like completely recreation, but it's still like some good points.
Chan.
I love them.
Last night after 4:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair, front cuff, but not one triage nurse says that they spoke to him.
Triage?
I don't know. Triage.
I think it's funny that they made it where the fucking video is access denied now. I feel like that's on purpose.
It could be.
They purposely leaked that for just a split second so whoever got it could get it from the justice.gov site.
Yeah.
And they closed it back off.
Enhance the video using Artemis OQ setting and video enhance AI. And it's,
if you use AI to enhance anything, it's
yeah.
AI just makes shit up.
I'm just scrolling through the comments here, trying to see if I can find anything else interesting here. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. CGI recreation to check the feasibility of the official suicide story. I think that's probably what this was. That would make sense. But yeah. It is probably fake. Well, it is fake.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is fake. Yeah,
it is fake. But the reasoning of it being made wasn't really made clear from any of this. But
either way it goes, DOJ does have this in their files.
Yeah. Yeah, the link that I got it from was absolutely a DOJ link.
And now it says access denied.
Yep. Anywho, really all I had. Unless you wanted to talk about the Brown being investigated. Bookmark that.
I haven't even been looking. How about you you tell me all about it?
So essentially, Department of Education is investigating Brown for for potentially not providing the appropriate safety measures because of the allegations that different activist groups pushed for them to remove cameras.
Cameras are not a safety feature. They're just oh, this is what happened feature. Unless you got somebody actually monitoring those cameras, they're basically so you can rewind and see what the fuck happened. And I seriously doubt they had somebody monitoring 1,200 cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was something about Minnesota. Let's see.
Oh, like, I know you probably saw it, but it kind of like slipped under the radar, and I don't know if a lot of people really realized it. You see where Georgia said they basically stole the election?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did.
What was it? 300,000 and something fucking ballots that were properly certified.
Yeah, and after, and even like the Secretary of State had made an announcement on election night saying that there were less than 2% of the ballots outstanding,
And Trump was winning.
and that Trump had won.
And even if one of the candidates got 100% of those remaining ballots, that wouldn't have changed the result. And then all of a sudden, somehow, it changed the result. Because these fuckers stole it.
Department of Labor is sending in a team to investigate the unemployment fraud in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that this is true, because while he's using one of the Freedom News's videos, I don't know where this originates from.
Was it?
And this guy tends to make things much bigger than they actually are and put out actually false information.
Is that? Who was that? Miss Tunnel Vision.
What?
I said, who is that puts out?
Joshua Hall.
Oh. I don't know that I know who that is.
Considering you said he was a freed political prisoner, I would guess that he's probably a J6er.
But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he does tend to post fake information. So
There's a few of them out
trust
there.
that.
A lot of them out there, actually. What does it say?
The FBI has just raided the offices of top members of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's administration related to the over $9 billion in theft of taxpayer funds that occur in the state under Walz's watch and direction.
Now, I did see that one of the Somalian nonprofits got raided.
Yeah, see.
That's probably what it is. I had to guess.
Well, if I go to see if I can. There we go. Yep, there you go. FBI appears to raid Somali-owned Ultimate Home Health Services in Minnesota.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think that they are a top aid in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
Or Walz.
It was Somali-owned, just home health. They were
not members of Tim Walz's administration.
No.
But they do this, like, I hate when this happens. Like, it's one thing to have bias. Everybody does. And a lot of times in reporting, your bias is going to be there. It's going to show. It's normal, right? But this is literally bullshit.
Yeah, it's a lie.
And this is not how you get people to trust you. You
What was
can't
that guy's
just
name again, so I can block him?
It's Josh Hall 2024 is his handle. You can't put out fake information, even if it's based on truth. You can't just go, okay, well, this little bit's true,
Oh.
but I'm just going to
He
blow
looks
it up
like a
something
winner.
completely different. You can't,
Damn,
you
he
can't do
got
that.
77,000 followers.
Yeah, 828,000 impressions. Makes me wish I was
That
on
needs to
community
get
notes.
noted.
I'd write the
Yeah,
fuck
that
out of a
needs to get
community note.
noted. They won't let me on community notes, but that needs to get noted.
They won't let me either. So if any of you that are watching are community noters, if you go to Aaliyah's Scootercast,
I'll just
has
mute him.
Let's see. You know, I'm gonna go back to Aaliyah's here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna block him, but I'm gonna mute him. I don't want his shit showing up.
Back to her video. Copy the link. And
I'm gonna go ahead and request a community note.
yep. Include that link. Done. I may not be able to write them, but I can recommend them. Because, yeah, I mean, it bothers me so much. I really hate it. I mean, we try to have as little bias in our reporting as possible. I mean, it still squeaks in there, right? Because we're human and, you know, we have our own viewpoints and opinions, but we don't put out fake shit. This is what the grift on the right looks like. Done with that. Anything else?
I'm calling him out in his replies right now.
Yeah, here you go. Brown University on a federal investigation for failing to act on warning signs prior to campus shooting and the response following the tragedy. The custodian, by the way, there's a custodian on campus that had repeatedly reported to the college about the shooter, about being a suspicious person on campus. So that's a massive failure. But yeah. Yep. All right. All right. Oh, we had almost an hour and a half of an unplanned stream. Woohoo! Yay! All right. So I think we're going to call it here.
Okay.
And we will see y'all later.